listen to music on a radio channel? I'm sure
Yes.
you do. You must have. Yeah.
Hmm.
Which channel do you like to listen to?
Normally FM, whatever is the
FM, which one?
93.5, 93.5.
Okay, 93.5. Let's say you're on 101.1.
Hmm.
Okay, and you want to listen to the music on 93.5. And if I say, Santosh,
Hmm.
stay on 101.1, but listen to the songs that are playing on 93.5. Can you do that?
No,
Why can you not do that? You
it's
can't, right?
because
The
I'm on a
frequency
different
of,
channel. Yes.
okay. And what if I begged you? I said, please do that. Will you do that? Can you do that?
Still no.
If I screamed and shouted at you, would you do that?
No way.
No, right? So the point is just that till you don't match the frequency, you will not be able to listen to that music. The vibrations have to be the same, the frequency has to be the same. And similarly, in your life, in law of attraction, in law of vibration, you have to vibrate at the frequency of your desire in order to have it in your life.
What would the life be like if you got what you thought about, and if you're able to do the jobs that you wanted to do, and if you're able to have the relationships that you wanted to have? And that is what all which is related to the law of attraction. And this podcast is going to be everything about the secret behind the law of attraction. And today for that we have with us Arti Asrani, and she's a consciousness coach, best-selling author, and also a TEDx speaker. She uses very different techniques to help people lead healthier and happier lives. And her goal is to create more joy in the world through the concept of consciousness. She also holds various workshops from relationship building to money consciousness to stress fight to the law of attraction. So let's have Aarti on our show today. Hi Aarti, how are you doing?
Hi, Santosh. Glad to be here.
Thank you, Aarti. So before we actually go into this, I would just like to ask you, what made you choose this path? So what made you choose the path of spreading happiness in the world?
Well, to tell you quite frankly, I've not always been in this line. However, as a youngster, I always knew that there is more to life than just the things that we go through, and I've always been in the path of seeking that. So since the age of 17, I dived into Buddhism, and that's when my journey began. And today, I've over 24 international certifications in different fields, all to do with mind, body, and consciousness. So that's how, and it was primarily, about 8 years ago when I was
Hmm.
having health issues. And I was having mood swings, depression, and a lot of complicated health issues that I dived into this completely. So that's where my journey actually began with more consciousness, more awareness, and adding more of law of attraction to my life.
Great. Thank you, Aarti. I think when you say about mind, okay, and that is what actually brings me to the topic, law of attraction. So what is this law of attraction, if I have to ask you?
So the premise of the law of attraction is that your thoughts create your reality. So whatever you think in your mind is the way things begin to pan out in your life. So you have to begin basically by thinking right if you want to get the kind of output or if you would like your life showing up in a particular way. So it is just that your thoughts create your reality.
So you say that what I think is what is going to be translated into the reality. So is there any evidence? Is there any historic origins for this concept?
Well, if you're talking about historic origins, the law of attraction actually goes really long back. So you must have heard about the book The Secret. So it came out in 2006 when Rhonda
Hmm.
Byrne, spoke about it, and that was when it was made, available to the world. This information it created waves across the world.
Hmm.
But originally, the Greek philosopher Plato
Hmm.
spoke about this philosophy in 390 BC. He noted that like tends towards like, and that is very similar to the law of attraction, where like attracts like. Now, law of attraction is actually the secondary law.
Hmm.
The law of vibration is the primary law. Okay. Now, having said all of this, the roots of law of attraction can also be found in ancient practices of the Eastern teachings.
Hmm.
So, in the ancient times, it was not actually called the law of attraction, but it's found in Buddhist writings as well as in Christianity.
Hmm.
Like Buddha says that all that we are is a result of what we have thought. That's what he says. All that we are is a
Hmm.
result of what we have thought. And even if you look into the different, verses on in Christianity
Hmm.
about ask and ye shall receive, there are
Hmm.
verses on that. So this really goes long back, and in the 1900s, the law of attraction was brought into light with the works of Madame Helena. I forgot her last name, but
Hmm.
and with her book, The Secret Doctrine. Then there was William Walker Atkinson and Napoleon Hill, if you've heard of him, with his
Yes.
famous
Think
book.
and grow rich.
And
Yes.
today we have people like, yes. So today we have people like Joe Vitale as well as Jack Canfield, who are featured in this book, in this movie, Secret. And they are taking forward the law of attraction. And there are many other people also. And as time goes by, this is something which I see will become a very essential part in the whole process of having the life that you truly desire.
Hmm.
The reason being that it is not just a thought, but it also has its roots in science. So therefore, all the people who think that it's only thought and it's wishful thinking,
Hmm.
I'm sorry to say it's not really that.
Yes. So, although this is not related to law of vibration, so I just want to expand for the sake of audience listening to this podcast. What is this law of vibration, and is there any relationship or is there any thing that led law of attraction from law of vibration?
uh, Sorry, could you repeat the question?
So I'm asking
Is there
that
any?
are there any
Yeah.
series of events that led law of vibration to actually give out the concept of law of attraction, or both are different?
So law of vibration is the primary law because we basically vibrate at a certain energy.
Hmm.
Okay. Because of the thoughts that we have, we create certain emotions.
Hmm.
And these emotions then are what are carried forward in the field, into in the field, I mean, into our life, into the universe, and into everything that is around. So even though we have to think, in order to attract things into our life, we have to begin to vibrate at that frequency. I'll give you an example here, okay?
Sure, sure, yeah.
It's like this. It's like, do you listen to music on a radio channel? I'm sure
Yes.
you do. You must have. Yeah.
Hmm.
Which channel do you like to listen to?
Normally FM, whatever is the
FM, which one?
93.5, 93.5.
Okay, 93.5. Let's say you're on 101.1,
Hmm.
okay, and you want to listen to the music on 93.5. And if I say, Santosh,
Hmm.
stay on 101.1, but listen to the songs that are playing on 93.5. Can you do that?
No,
Why can you not do that? You
it's
can't, right?
because
The
I'm on a
frequency
different
of,
channel. Yes.
okay. And what if I begged you? I said, please do that. Will you do that? Can you do that?
Still no.
If I screamed and shouted at you, could you do that?
No way.
No, right? So the point is just that till you don't match the frequency, you will not be able to listen to that music. The vibrations have to be the same, the frequency has to be the same. And similarly, in your life, in law of attraction, in law of vibration, you have to vibrate at the frequency of your desire in order to have it in your life. So if
Hmm.
you say that you would like to have healthy relationship, okay, or a happy relationship, or if you think that you would like to be thinner, you have to bring that change of thought first in your mind.
Hmm.
So the mind is where it begins, from your thought, and then you begin to vibrate at that and then attract it into your life. But if you're not working on that mind, you're not
Hmm.
changing your thoughts, then there's no point really in it.
So you mean to say that if I want to become something, I start imagining myself to be that?
Yes, you already see yourself there.
Great, great. So I
You,
think that gives a good idea into what law of attraction is all about. And now I just want to know, we have seen what is this law of attraction. We have to vibrate at that frequency. Now, what is the process of going there, going to that channel, if I have to say?
the process begins with asking. Okay, that's the first
Hmm.
step where you have clarity on your desires. You have clarity about what you would like to have in your life. Because if you don't know what you would like, you have to basically deal with whatever is being served. So I was at Starbucks the other day with a friend, actually a colleague. This was a while ago, and she asked me. We were at breakfast there, and she asked me that, "What can I get you?" So I said, "Bring me anything." And she
Hmm.
came back with that chicken kathi roll, for breakfast early in the morning. I
Hmm.
don't like chicken kathi roll. Okay,
Hmm.
and in addition to that, nothing spicy early in the morning.
Hmm.
So I looked at that and I started laughing. I was like, this is exactly what law of attraction is talking about. That you
Hmm.
need to be aware and you need to ask about what you desire. Otherwise, you're just going to be served
Hmm.
anything that is brought to you. So asking is the first step, which is identifying your goals, where you would like to get.
Hmm.
After asking, there's a whole process of believing that you need to believe that you already have it. And
Hmm.
then there's the third step where you basically need to receive it. So the universe always delivers. It always comes knocking to your door with whatever you desire.
Hmm.
Now, when it delivers, are you willing to receive it? Is really up to you. So those are the three main steps, which is ask, you believe, and then you receive.
So ask, believe, and receive. Great. Now this leads me to one point wherein, so imagine that I'm asking that I want $1 million or something, and then I'm also believing I'll get that, and then I'm ready to receive whatever is coming to me. Is that enough? I mean to say, is thinking,
It's
believing
not
is
that
enough?
simple.
Yes. Is that enough
It's
or?
not that simple. So let me get back to you with that same question. Now tell me, when you said that I want one, I start believing.
Hmm.
I ask for 1 million, whatever, rupees, or $1 million or whatever. Uh, Tell me, just focus on this right now and tell yourself that I want $1 million. What is the thought comes after that?
How can I get those $1 million?
Yeah. So that is doubt, which most people have, or
Hmm.
that is computation, where you compute how am I going to get there. You know. So even though It's yes, you just put down your desires, and it's very important to put down all your desires. But there's a lot of what do you call it, decluttering
Hmm.
that one needs to do with the mind and tune the mind, fine tune the mind to be able to attract what one truly desires, and therefore, whenever I conduct workshops or anything of that sort, the whole process is not just about one of the methods is first to really identify your desire. Is it really your desire? Where you polish that.
Hmm.
After you're able to do that, we work on the subconscious mind, because you may throw out a lot of desires that you have or would like things showing up in your life,
Hmm.
but because your subconscious is programmed differently, it
Hmm.
rejects it. It continues to reject it because you don't have that kind of a belief system.
Hmm.
That needs to change somewhere. And hence, it is ask, believe, receive, but your belief system needs to be worked on. What is it that you believe about money? Do you think if you ask for $1 million, it'll show up tomorrow? You'll probably laugh at me and say, what is she talking about?
Yes.
So, but if you had the belief system that it will show up tomorrow, and it can show up, maybe it can. But that belief system needs to really be worked on, and your mind needs to be worked on. There are so many external stimuli that keep coming at us.
Hmm.
Today, let's say you said, I want $1 million. Okay.
Okay.
And when you said, I want $1 million, tomorrow you tell somebody that, uh, somebody about this concept. And somebody may tell you that, what are you thinking, like a fool? You think you're going to win a lottery? You think something magical is going to happen? How are you going to get it? Etc. Etc. So these burden of different judgments come in your way.
Hmm.
And then that second thought is put in your head, where you're like, is this person right? Am I really a fool? I should give up on this idea. Is it ever going to work for me? So you start doubting it. And therefore, how to keep the mind focused is also very essential in this entire process of manifestation. So, yes, it's ask, believe, receive. But these are how, the mind begins to play games because of
Hmm.
external stimuli, because of internal belief systems, because of the way we've seen things around us. And that needs to be fine tuned and worked upon so that you actually move from the place of the desire to actualizing what you desire.
So how do we build that belief system?
There are many tools actually you work on. One which I can suggest at this moment is, whatever your negative talk is,
Hmm.
like if you have a talk that I can never do this, I can never get there, it'll never be a reality, it's not possible. Whatever that is, take a note of it, become aware about it, because awareness sets you free. When you are aware of something, that awareness gives you the permission to choose something different. But if you're not aware, how are you going to begin to change it? So be aware of what you are saying to yourself and then replace it with something different. Replace it with, I can do it, or replace it with, I am good enough, or replace it with, I am rich, or replace it with, I am abundant, whatever. But start working on that and then build on it.
Great. I think having that awareness about what is my capability or what is it realistic is what is needed to get there what we wanted to do. That's great. So Arti, you were speaking about Jack Canfield. So can you please narrate for our audience what is that story of Jack Canfield and how did he do to actually ask, believe, and receive? What did he do to exactly get there?
No, I actually cannot narrate that story
Okay.
because I've not really gone in depth of
Okay.
his
Okay.
life. But I have many other people, like, for example, Louis Hay.
Hmm.
She's also someone who practiced law of attraction. And her book was one of the books that I picked up first, actually, when I was 17. I had a breakup.
Hmm.
And when I had a breakup, I was really down in the dumps. And there was this book which I landed upon called You Can Heal Your Life.
Hmm.
So that was one of the first steps into this journey where I learned to heal myself and got this all this information about how you can program your mind. So Louis Hay was somebody who had cancer
Hmm.
and she wanted to heal herself, um, and that's where she began to really uh, clear out layers of belief systems from her life, clear out baggage from the past, clear out negative thoughts, and replace them with affirmations, replace them with positive thinking. Uh, Watching a lot of positivity or bringing positive elements to her own life to
Hmm.
keep her state of mind always healthy. So she applied. So when joy and happiness become an essential part of your life, that's when you are able to manifest much faster. And with this entire process, she was able to get into this space of healing, and she healed herself and her cancer. So that was her journey and how she basically began on this process of, bringing her knowledge, her awareness to all of us.
Great. So again, this goes back to vibrating higher, the law of vibration, wherein being happier and being in those high spirits led her to heal herself. So that is great. Now we have seen law of attraction, how it helps in getting $1 million and how it helps in probably coming out of a breakup. Now, what other aspects does law of attraction help us?
Well, law of attraction can help you in every aspect of your life. It can help you with manifestation of wealth. It can help you with your health. It can help with relationships. If you are going through stress, if you want peace of mind, if you're looking for more joy and happiness, if you want to manifest a house, you want a car, you want to go for a vacation somewhere, each and everything, even if you want someone coming home with a bouquet of roses, all of that is possible, from the tiniest thing to the biggest thing is possible with the law of attraction.
Great. So I have one more question, that is, at a time, how many wishes can someone make? How many things can someone ask while going through this concept of law of attraction?
So while going through this process of law of attraction, you can have a long list of things.
Mm-hmm.
uh, in fact, I encourage people to become aware and continue to add to that, you know, over a
Hmm.
period of time, continue to add to that list, see what more would you probably like to have. Bring everything on. There is no limitation. The universe is not a strict parent telling you that you have to choose between one. You know, it can gift you this, that, and more. It's really up to you what you would like manifesting in your life.
So you mean to say that I can ask for three different things, then believe that I can get three different things, and then be ready to receive all those three different things. Great. So now, Arti, I just have one more question. That is, we see that many people telling that law of attraction doesn't work, or what is this law of attraction? So, what do you have to say to all those people who believe that it doesn't work?
So for those who doesn't work, it will never work. No, but to jokes apart, to tell you quite frankly, the premise of law of attraction is your thoughts create your reality. And if that person is originating from the thought that it does not work, it
Hmm.
will clearly not work for them. So it's important to have that faith that it does, and then it kind of moves into working for them. There are, you will see, let me give you another example, because this would be, someone would say, so it's biased because that's my subject. But if you see in your daily life, if you wake up in the morning and you're angry,
Hmm.
You will find that there are many instances that you go through the day that the anger continues, right? Or if you wake up in the morning and you're in this mood to fight, or you're fighting something in your head, that continues somehow over a period of time. You're fighting with this one, that one, that constantly, that energy continues to be there. So similarly, if you are in a position where you want to prove somebody wrong, you will always find a reason to prove somebody wrong.
Hmm.
Now, someone might say, but I've not experienced it. That's not entirely true. When you are a child, the law of attraction is working for you at all points of time. Your one cry and food, water, toys, milk, everything is just brought to you. You don't work, you're not working and earning, but you have the abundance of money, the abundance of comfort, the abundance of people gifting you things. How does all that happen? It's through the power of your own energy
Hmm.
and through the power of your own, what you desire in your life, you know. So it is working. Now, when you start moving your focus to all the things that are actually happening for you, the law of attraction or more things happening in your life will multiply. So it's a matter of you taking a focus where you would actually like to create. So the bottom line is give your focus to what you would like to attract. Where your attention goes, that is where the energy flows. So you have to be very clear that what would you like to manifest? Would you like to manifest seeds or fruits? Would you like to manifest weeds or plants which are flourishing, flourishing fields? So whatever you plant in that head of yours is what's going to show up. So that's that's what I need to say on that.
Okay, great. Now, this brings me to this one thing that normally people do prayers, right? So, do you think that there is any relationship between
Yeah.
praying, doing prayer, and also law of attraction? Because you repeat the same thing many a times while during prayer.
So prayer is a very essential part of manifestation also. And whatever you put your full faith in
Hmm.
really matters in the process of manifestation. So if you believe in something and you believe that doing that will attract into your life or bring to your life what you desire, it's perfectly fine and it's great. It works for you. Never discard something that is already working, you know. And you must have heard of many stories of prayers being answered, people recovering from situations, and that is the power of faith. So whatever you believe in, continue to believe in it because then it's working for you.
Great. So, I think belief is the crux of this entire concept of law of attraction. So, Aarti, now let me ask you this. Can you tell me one very personal level or at professional level, something that happened to you, which you can tell that, yes, this is when law of attraction worked for me?
This was about 8 years ago when I wanted to advance myself in my field, and I wanted to go for my advanced certification. I required about 2 lakh rupees within a span of 20 days. And I asked the universe that what will it take for the money to show up. And within 2 days, I got a call from this person on LinkedIn. And he asked me to do a training in Delhi for
Hmm.
10 days. That made up for all the money that I was short of, And this was clearly proof enough at that point of time that the universe is listening and responding to what my desire was. But many people at this point of time may think that it could be a coincidence, right? Not necessarily that it's law of attraction at work or something that manifested. But I use the same strategy over and over again, the same application of the system. And through that, I was able to acquire 24 different international certifications and paid for each one of them using the law of attraction. So I spent over, let's say, about 34 lakhs to 40 lakhs in this entire learning. And all of it was created through the process of manifestation.
Okay. So, who is your greatest inspiration that you have?
Who's my greatest inspiration? Well, I get inspired by a lot of people. I love Dr. Wayne Dyer. I
Mhm.
absolutely love him. I love Louise Hay. She's brilliant. Abraham Hicks because of law of attraction. Then there's William Walker Atkinson. Then James Allen. Yeah, there are a lot of people. Joseph Murphy, who spoke about the power of the subconscious mind. So, and I love even actually, the tools of neurolinguistic programming that I kind of practice, and all the teachers from there, and whoever I've practiced with, the teachers I have learned under. So it's a combination of everybody. Every person, every mentor, every teacher I've come across has taught me something, and I can't pick a favorite. But if you ask me, I have listened to a lot of Dr. Wayne Dyer,
Hmm.
and his teachings, I find them absolutely lovely too.
Great. I'll just go and check his recording soon. And now let me ask you this: what would you suggest? So the audience that is going to listen to this podcast are most of them would also love to read. So if you have to suggest two books for them to read on law of attraction, what they would be?
Well, if they must have already read The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, because that's a simple one. And definitely my book, you can read Reborn. And it's called Reborn. And if you want, you could read Ask and It's Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks. That is a good book to on law of attraction that you can probably go through. But there's so many actually. There is Power of Intention by Dr. Wayne Dyer. There's Power of
Hmm.
Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. As Man Thinketh by James Allen. There are many books that one can really read on the subject, uh, and keep on getting deeper and deeper into it.
Thank you so much, Aarti. So we have come to the end of this podcast. So before we end, let me ask you, please give three key takeaways to our audience who are listening to this podcast so that
Okay,
they can
so
get anything that I have aspired for. Yes.
yeah, so three takeaways that I would ask you to, from this podcast would be: one is definitely be absolutely clear on your desires. If you don't know what you want, you will have to deal with whatever is served. The second is become the master of your own mind, because the mind is where thoughts originate. And the third is be ready to receive when the universe delivers. Don't get into the process of making excuses that I can't, not now, later. Be ready to receive. So these are 3 pointers that I would like to give.
Thank you so much, Aarti. I think the point of being ready to receive is something that I would definitely want to inculcate in my life from today. Thank you so much, Aarti, for being a part of my podcast. So, friends, you can follow Aarti
Thank you,
on.
Santosh.
Thank you. You can follow Aarti on Asrani by typing her, or you can go to a website, and her social media links will actually be kept on the description box, so you can go and follow her, or you can probably take some help if you require from her in the for
Yeah,
implement.
in fact, I
Yes.
also have on my website, I do give people, free consultation slots, because I believe in helping others. So they can always take an appointment and get their free consultation if they like.
Yes, so I'll also be putting that link in the description. So Please follow the law of attraction and believe in that. Only belief is going to take you there. And I hope that to all the listeners today who are here, you are going to achieve your personal, professional, and all the kinds of goals that you have in life. And if you have been liking the kind of content that I'm putting on this channel, please do subscribe to Santosh Speak Up. It is all about conversations, book bites, and stories. Thank you so much.